Hey,
What is going on, gamers? How's everyone doing today? It is your boy, Jersh, joined by everyone's favorite TO, Icy. Austin, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty great today, man. Excited to get this tourney up and running. Yeah, and let me go ahead and send them a message that they can start.
Okay. So we have a rather smaller tournament today, but I don't really think it's a problem. It just means just shorter turnaround times and
Yep.
easy for you.
Exactly. Today there's a bunch of big tournaments happening today. There's an Atomic Dominic one, which has like 4,000 in prize pools, and there's another one. I think it's called Playing for Pride, and it has 1.5k. So $50 is a little bit incomparable. So
Hey man, we do what we can, right?
exactly, we take what we can get, and we just keep it going. And they should be starting pretty soon. And I'm going to...
So, who all do we have here today?
Some of our top seeds have DQ'd. So right now, what we're going into is Sans and Mayuri. I don't remember what Mayuri is, but I know Sans is a pretty good Bowser.
Okay, it's always fun to watch Bowser's.
I think Bowser and I forget who it was. We'll find out in a minute, or better yet, let me see if I can pull up the Smash data. Data.gg.
Man, we already have a DQ in Tuck 64.
So Mayuri is a Palutena.
Ah, okay.
So
Oh no, I'm going to feel really bad for Bowser in this matchup.
I don't know. He's pretty good for a reason. Lake was hyping him up. So
I mean, that's true. That's definitely true. But this matchup on paper is kind of sketchy because just that happens right there.
Yep.
But you know what? Bowser can get in, do a lot of damage pretty quickly, and he can close distance. I think he's one of the fastest heavies in the game.
See, I'm gonna trust you on that because I don't know. Because my Bowser strat is, alright, let's see if I can just side B SD off stage, because PogChamp.
PogChamp, exactly.
And
the same strat with Ganon, and hey, it works sometimes.
Exactly. And sometimes it's all you need.
Yeah. And it's a mental game, really, because like it just makes your opponent mad.
Exactly. And if it's like you break their soul enough where you can go, okay, now I can play the game. And who knows, sometimes you win sets, other times you go, man, I shouldn't have just SD'd 3 of my stocks there.
Very, very true, yes. But playing a heavy against any kind of combo character is usually not a good time for the heavy. But, you know, Sans seems to be doing pretty well in this so far. He's keeping the percentage pretty close. I think Palutena is at side B kill range right now.
She died up tilt, so we'll have to see. And oh,
okay, good command grab, reading the counter. Nice reaction time. Good 1 read. And explosive is not gonna do it just yet. Got really close to it though. And down throw up air will do it.
See, that side B was just kind of a, I hope I can hit him with this. I don't know. I felt like there was a better option there. Because it was something that wasn't committal. And I mean, I get it. Some moves you have to be committal with, but other times sometimes you just have to go in and go, alright, I'm gonna go for the back air. If I get some percentage off it, that's my fault.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a give and take a lot of time with really heavy characters like Bowser.
Exactly.
Because most characters, when they reach 100, they start getting scared. They're getting desperate, basically. Bowser, not so much. Like Bowser with Rage, kind of scary.
Oh yeah, especially if they're at least decent at avoiding getting hit. I mean, it's just essentially when can I hit you?
Yeah, basically. And Sans has only hit Maori 6 times now, and he's at 70% already. And he's
Yup.
definitely at 100% with as light as Palutena is.
I really love Sans' ledge coverage. He knows exactly when to use the down tilt versus when to smash attack. And even when using the smash attack, he's pretty much not put himself at disadvantage.
Yeah, that's a big thing in Smash too. Like, you have to know what your options are and when to use them. You can't
Exactly.
you literally can't just mash, because if you mash, you're gonna get punished for it.
Exactly, because it's all about the timing of the moves and knowing if something is going to get beat out by another move. Gameplay.
But you know, Sans looked pretty dominating in that.
Yeah,
It
that
was kind of a rough start for him, but towards the end, he was kind of moving a little bit.
So I have this theory about top players. It's
Okay.
they take one game to take in the scenery. They learn, they kind of see what the other player does, see what habits they start showing, and then the second game it's where they just run over them. It's just, okay, I see all these habits that you're doing, I'm going to exploit it every time you do it. And then some players, it's like they'll adapt immediately, and that's usually the other good players. You start to see that towards the end of bracket. But towards beginning of bracket, you see the beginning players that haven't had to deal with someone counteract their play style, and so you just watch them go, how did they just do that? So I'm kind of interested to see how Mayuri comes back from this. Are they going to adapt knowing that they are playing against this Bowser, or are they just going to keep on doing the same things hoping that they work?
I mean, people joke about it sometimes, but top player adaptation, that's a real thing.
It is.
I remember I went to Jesse's house, MBD, one time, and we did Ganon Dittos. And like the first couple games were like pretty close. I even beat him in one of them, not to brag or anything. But just maybe 3 games in, he just started wiping the floor with me, just running all over me.
And it's all about taking advantage of what your opponent's not good at. It's finding their disadvantage and keeping them there. And you'll see this with the Palutena at the beginning. She noticed Nair worked, and so it gets to a point though where Nair's not going to work every single time.
Right.
Now,
Nair. Sometimes you have to mix it up. You have to go for grabs of Smash, even up air.
Exactly.
Or back air, considering that it's completely safe, as we just saw, even on parry.
See, you can already tell we're seeing a little bit more of an aggressive Mayuri. She's not distancing herself. She's actually going in and she's committing to what she's doing rather than the last game where she was just, oh no, is this gonna hit, and throwing out the side Bs as in hopes that it kills.
Ooh, I think side B would have killed right there actually.
Yeah.
It's definitely getting scary for Maori right now.
Yep. And see,
Yeah,
the ledge coverage, I mean, sometimes you just gotta wait that invincibility out a little bit longer just so you don't get hit by it.
And sometimes spamming 2 moves it's the optimal thing to do. It really is. Like, the no mix-up is a real thing.
It is.
And it's probably one of the funniest things that can happen in Smash, to me, at least. And Maori already at 93. And
yeah.
It's not quite going to be the stock yet, but I think one more of those and it will be. But that's going to be the stock for Sans, though.
See, what Mayuri needs... I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but it feels like she needs to slow down the game a little bit. Because now it's getting to the point where Sans went, okay, you're going to play fast, I'll play fast with you. And this is where we were talking about that adaptation earlier, was that you can't just go in doing the same thing, because someone will go, okay, if you're going to do that, I'm just going to do the thing that you hate.
Right. And against a lot of the other heavies, they're slow, like your Bowser, or your Ganondorfs, your DDDs, just characters like that, they're slow, and you can play fast around them, because they don't really have a lot of options. But like I said earlier, Bowser is one of, if not the fastest heavy in the game, so if you play fast, he can just play fast too.
And it's explosive moves like that where it really puts her at disadvantage. Oh, okay.
Good counter.
And,
oh man, that was sad. That was almost a really good play from Mayuri.
It was.
I think they had the right idea, but just misspaced it just by a tad bit.
Yep. And it happens, man, and that's the thing, is where you'll see kind of the line of separation between the pros and the people that are still trying to get up there, is when you're in that state, how can you get back? Right. She did go a little far, but correct me if I'm wrong, but couldn't she have air dodged to ledge there to try to get back up?
To where she was, I don't think so, no.
Gotcha. And sometimes it's just knowing I can't go that committal.
But then again, sometimes it's weird because you have some air dodges like, say, Bowser's, or not Bowser's, Ganondorf's, that just barely even moves. But then you have another, like, Ness's, which is basically like a third jump.
Yep. Sorry, I'm sending information to our next set of people. I am very bad at multitasking, so if you hear me go silent, I apologize. But I want to make sure that we keep the stream of people coming in. And just to give our viewers a heads up, once it hits around 6 or so, the stream is just going to stream. We're not going to have any commentary. With all the events that are going on this weekend, we weren't able to secure commentators. So once we get done commentating, it'll just be straight sets so people can review them.
I gotta go make some money.
Then it's understandable. And as much as I love running these events, I cannot commentate by myself.
I completely understand.
That is not my background's more in the streaming production side of it, so I feel like I'd end up giving misinformation. But it's nice to have Josh here as a reference if I end up saying something wrong.
And you know what? It's always good to have company on the mic for me, too.
Exactly,
more,
man.
What's the word?
It makes it feel like you're a part of a conversation.
Yeah.
For me, it's let me get us back to 3 input. But for me, it's super hard to just keep that train of thought going and just continuously say things, because you get to the point where, especially when you're by yourself, you're just like, man, my throat hurts and I'm really thirsty, but there's so much going on, I have to keep on going.
Oh, yeah. And I completely understand that and relate in a very, very hard way.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get your opinion on something.
Yeah, what's up?
As a PK boy player, you play Lucas.
Yep.
Sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of the PK boys recovery? Good or bad?
I preferably love it. I actually love it. Just because, I essentially have Yoshi jump when I'm trying to come back to ledge. Granted, you have to hit yourself with a lightning bolt to come back up, but you can also use it offensively, which for some up Bs it's impractical, or it's something you really can't use. But when you watch pro play, they use it all the time, whether it's in mid stage or whether it's off stage. The amount of times I've seen someone get spiked off a bottom stage because of Ness or Lucas is so funny, but it's also demoralizing to them because they're just like, what can I do?
Against characters with bad recovery, it's definitely like that. But I have gotten into I don't know how many arguments with my brother, who is also a Ness main. And he's like, no, like, their recovery is just the worst. It sucks so bad.
A lot of that,
like,
I think that frustration comes from the fact that sometimes, especially if you're playing against a player that knows how to play against it, you end up seeing them figuring out how to deal with it. But anyways, to continue our match, man, what a set of characters.
What 2 characters do we have here?
It is definitely the GRENINJA Little Mac. Let's see how this goes. Yeah.
That was beautiful, Austin.
It's Wi-Fi. I can't say that I can't expect anything less. But all the.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Oh yeah, I know.
So, what do you think about this matchup?
Sucks for Little Mac. Sucks really bad. To my knowledge, I believe the Greninja has the upper hand here. Just with the movement options you've got with Greninja and the fact that you can do a little bit more in the air with Greninja than you can with Little Mac. Essentially, what this Greninja has to do is get him off stage and keep him off stage. Like that. Like that, yeah. What are you gonna do?
As Little Mac, there's really nothing you can do.
And so you have to spend your entire time just staying in middle stage, but if this Greninja just sits there and grabs you and throws you off stage, you can't really do much.
Yeah. And I really hate the argument. Like, personally, I don't like playing against Little Macs. That's just me.
I don't like the KO punch that... I get it. Like, it happens. But, like, sometimes you're just like, man, I was only at, like, 50, and that killed, and you just hate it.
But I hate the argument when people are like, why are you complaining about Little Mac? Just get him off stage. Well, it's hard to even touch him when he can move like 1,000,000 miles an hour just across the stage.
That's true. And if you're... Go ahead. You can go ahead.
Okay, because like he's just insanely fast, and with a lot of characters I play, it's just really hard to deal with.
And that's something you gotta be prepared for, especially with good Little Macs. They know how to they know the options that they have to take to be able to protect ledge, the options that when in center stage, what beats out what. If you're playing Little Mac and you want to succeed, you essentially just have to know what they're gonna try to go for, or else it's just a constant uphill battle of, I hope I don't get carried off stage.
I've never seen like so many players that play Little Mac, or wait, what am I trying to say? Let me rewind. With all the characters that are in the game, I think Little Mac players go for and get 2 frames the most.
Yeah, because
they have to.
If they don't, then they're essentially just letting them recover for free.
Because Mac has absolutely no like ledge guard options, and he's dead.
Yep, he's dead.
Yeah, he got hit once and he died.
Yep.
And for the Little Mac, it feels so bad, but for the Greninja, it's just like, it's just what he had to do.
Yep. You're exactly right. Is you... Sorry. Let's see. Making sure everything is going right. But, it gets to those points where that's why if you choose Little Mac, you have to stay dedicated to it. But yet again, you have that same option with Greninja, because, like, let's be real here, outside of Wi-Fi, how many Greninja players do you see at locals?
Really not very many. I know of 2 that I played, or not even that I played, just 2 that I know in Ultimate. And that's, KSMG was one of them. He was a local Greninja. And then, Autonomous.
Yeah.
He's from Texas. I think he played the skin too. But there's even fewer Little Mac mains, honestly.
And see, that's what's scary about Greninja right there, is that he almost got that just off of the water shuriken.
I really thought he died. I did.
Same. So what makes Greninja different in this game? Because I correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Greninja more popular in Smash 4?
Honestly, I don't know, but something says yes to me.
It would make sense if it's like more of a floaty game, but with this being Ultimate, I wonder if you saw negative effects with it not being as floaty in this game.
Well, I mean, Little Mac, Little Mac.
Whoa!
Nice, that was really good timing from Inori.
Yeah.
Lost my train of thought. Oh, but going back to what we were saying, it's not like Greninja is a bad character, because honestly, he's not.
No.
He's got really good combo game and really good speed, but he's just so technical, and you have to move your hands so quickly. It's like you're playing Melee when you're playing Greninja.
And see, what I like to... There's characters that I think that you have to main, and that's the only character you play, and I think this is one of them. It's just that you have to do certain things, and when you start playing other characters, it starts ruining these combos or setups that you have to do with this character. Because you don't think the same when you're playing Greninja as if you were to play, you know, any other character that has the same kind of skill movesets, you know?
Right. And I think if you are going to change, like, characters from Greninja to anything, I think probably Sheik would be the most...
The most similar, yep.
The easiest switch, yeah. Maybe ZSS, maybe. But that'd be a hard sell for me.
That'd be a hard sell for me, too.
But, Inori is looking a lot better in this game than he did in the last one. Magic has gotten hit 3 times, and he's already at 4%. KO punch online for Inori.
Nope, already offline. Yep.
But you know what's funny?
What?
Magic can still win this.
He could.
He's not out of this. Like, he just has to take the stock, and then just get an easy game.
See, he's misspacing. That's the only thing, is that, again, this is where I think I'm gonna say my opinion. I'm not entirely sure if it's completely true, but I think he's misspacing because he's afraid to fully commit to it. Because you saw some... You go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
Which is completely understandable with not wanting to get in close to Little Mac, because if you get hit with anything that's, like, not down tilt, you're probably gonna die.
Yeah, but at the same boat, again, that brings up the same conversation, is commitment is what changes the player. If you are following through with your attacks and you're getting them, then that's great. Yes, occasionally you'll lose interactions, but it's better to lose 1 or 2 interactions than to half commit and then lose even harder because you're in a worse disadvantage.
Yeah, and Magic almost had that comeback.
Almost.
There, but Inori, you know, I'm seeing some pretty good stuff from Inori.
Yeah.
He's playing pretty well today.
From what I've seen his name a lot. I think he enters Smashcade a lot.
Does he?
To my knowledge, yes.
Has he made it to top 4 before?
So we don't typically set up top 64. It's usually top 128. And honestly, if you want me to be real with you, with the amount of names we have in here, I don't keep track. But the dedication's real, man. A lot of these players you'll see come in more than once and really kind of just show who they are. And especially this week with all the PGR players not here, it's going to be really interesting to see who we see in top 8.
And really, without the PGR players here, like you were saying, it's anybody's tournament today.
Yep. But let's see.
This character lineup is kind of funny, though. Oh my god, there's a Bowser Jr. in Losers? That's so funny. And a K-Rool? Wow.
See, that's interesting. The program I set up's not working. Huh.
Which one, the lag test one?
No, the one I set up for, the one I set up for, donations and whatnot. I'll have to check that out a different time. Huh.
I wonder what's going on.
It's a weird program. It reads data off of... And there's that. And so we are now 1-1 in this set. So what do you think is going to happen this round?
Oh, jeez. I really do not know.
I honestly think Inorilus can take it. If he keeps up what he's doing, which is he's waiting for the Greninja to do something and he rushes in afterwards. And when it gets to that point, Magiek needs to just slow down the game and kind of make the Little Mac start chasing him.
I feel like Town and City really wasn't the best choice in a matchup like this, because Mac really thrives on flat stages. And most
So
of the
that
time, that's exactly what Town and City is just a flat stage.
I don't even think this was I don't even think this was the Little Mac's choice. It was
Yeah, it was Matrix choice.
Yeah. Interesting.
So maybe Lilat would have been a better choice than this, honestly. Which is really weird, because not many people just even consider Lilat a sage.
Well, for Little Mac, ledges are scary on Lilat. So I wouldn't blame him for not wanting to.
Oh, he could have got a jab block. That would have been so clean. Okay, they're just kind of dancing around one another. They don't really want to go in at all. Okay, well,
Because
79.
exactly, the first person who commits and fails, they immediately get punished for it.
Yeah, the Nori is looking pretty strong in this set right now.
I'm gonna have to agree with you.
Okay, Online. I don't think it'll go just yet.
Nope, and it's already gone. It doesn't take much to get rid of it, but man, if that Little Mac can dodge you, it's a scary thing to have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the biggest thing here is the Greninja keeps on rushing in. I wish he would have slowed down his play a little bit, try to get the Little Mac to commit to something, because, I mean, Little Mac, when you make moves that you commit, like those side smashes, I mean, the minute he misses one of those, that's prime opportunity for you to get some damage and get some points on the board. And with that,
He died at like 70 at center stage.
Yep.
That's nutty.
It is kind of scary. And we're just going to keep a Nori list in here. Just because it would be... there's no other free matches right now. So...
We got Cade in top 64. Let's go Cade.
I definitely see if he got knocked out into losers.
Oh, did he?
Yep. And he's gonna have a while before his next match.
Let's see, where's he at now?
He's in losers round 4. So this next match is going to be Palpablade versus a Nori list.
Okay.
Palpablade, if I remember correctly, a couple of Smashcades ago, he ended up taking H-Box out of bracket, keeping him out of top 8.
Really?
Yeah. And he has a rotation of characters, so I can't tell you who to expect. Because he rotated between like a crap ton of characters. Like I think his main is Pac-Man. I think that's the one he played the most. But with H-Box, he played Meta Knight. He played a couple other characters before going to Pac-Man and committing.
I don't understand Pac-Man mains at all. They blow my mind.
Why is that?
Because I think they're all just meth heads.
Well, you can't just say that. Like, you've got to give your reasoning. Is it just you don't understand the combo strings, or is it just more...
I just don't understand the character.
I mean...
Because it takes... Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I want to respond to whatever you got next.
Okay. They're just like... They're crackheads, because they will just sit in training room and just use one item and see how much they can get off of just one item.
I mean...
And then, like, after an hour, they'll switch. And then they'll just do it again. And then there's, like, what, 7 different items for Pac-Man? Something like that? And I don't understand how to incorporate all of them. I guess my brain is just too small. But I just don't get it.
I mean, sometimes if you commit to a character like Pac-Man, again, I think this is one of those in that category of, if you really want to get good at that character, it's just you have to grind with that character, and most Pac-Man mains know that, and that's why they spend time in the lab, because there are those combos where you're just, well, why did he re-grab that item and just continuously throw it at me until the edge of stage, you know?
And I would like to clarify, when I said that they were crackheads, I did not mean that in an insult.
It's okay, man.
Because
No worries.
I could not play Pac-Man. Me and my little pea brain.
Alright, oh, and then we see a Nori list change from Little Mac back to Samus. I wonder if this is their main.
What do you think of Samus?
I like Samus as a character. I struggle with her. Like, I really like what Nori List is doing here. She's camping out this Pac-Man, and I mean, for this matchup, it's totally understandable. Keeping Pac-Man at a distance while just avoiding Hydrant, really.
To me, I really think that Samus is a slept-on character. Everyone's like, oh yeah, Samus is just like not very good. She's just like, okay. This character has some shit, dude.
It does, but when you look at the coverage of what Samus can do against a bunch of players, you can see a lot more struggling matchups with Samus rather than beneficial ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that, but I think that's only because of her weight.
Yeah.
Because she is kind of heavy.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I think, like I said, I think this character is slept on. If she's not below the stage, she's getting back for almost free. Oh
yeah, because up B, if they're anywhere close to the ledge of stage, it's just free damage for you.
Pretty much, yeah. Ooh, we got a good string going. But yeah, like, I don't know if I've ever beaten a Samus in bracket, if I'm being completely honest.
I don't know if I've played a Samus in bracket, if you want me to be honest with you.
But Nori is looking very just dominating in this set right now.
I definitely have a feeling that this is the character. Did you see what happened to that energy blast? It went straight up after it hit.
Either if you hit it, or if you shield at just the right moment, or if it hits your shield at a weird angle.
I really like the use of Bell and how Palpablade's using it. Covering ledge. I've never seen a Pac-Man do that, but like that's deadly if it hits, man.
Yeah, definitely so. Because Bell, it'll freeze you for a little bit.
Yep,
right?
and then
just giving you almost a free punish. Oh, that's sad.
Ugh. Yep.
I don't think the charge shot was supposed to be fully charged,
and
it kind of pushed Nori back a little bit. But you know what? That's just what happens sometimes. It's okay. She's got a lot of insurance right now. She's just chilling, and that's gonna be another stock lead for Nori. I'm not really sure what Palpablade could be doing differently, because even though Samus is his owner character, she's putting just so much pressure in, just being in Palpablade's space just for so much of the match.
See, this is where I'm gonna, I don't know. I'm gonna watch it a little bit more before I make a comment.
Okay. Okay, we got some ledge trapping going. Oh, no, we don't anymore. So let's see if Nori can finish up the stock right here. It's Palpablade definitely at kill percent.
See, that was too committal right there. He shouldn't have done that. Yeah. I mean, like, I get it if he would have rolled up, but, man, he didn't call it at the right time. And, like, you know, those are things that you just, it's matchup experiences, knowing that sometimes that won't hit, and if it doesn't hit, that's game.
And it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. You just have to know what your character can and can't do.
Exactly, and knowing how to respond to someone else, that's the huge thing. Is if you don't know what they're planning to do next, that makes your life really hard moving forward. Just because... Yep.
Sorry.
Just because, when you're playing this game, if you're not anticipating what they're doing next or thinking about what they can do next, you're just essentially, in a more fancy way, button mashing. To a degree, because if you're not looking at... who won that last match, by the way? Was it a Nori list?
If it was a Nori list.
Because what I was saying is if you're not anticipating that what they're wanting to do next, you're just essentially throwing moves out hoping that it will work. What? Oh!
Wow.
Let's go.
Okay, Palpa
Blade. That was a different Palpa Blade. Oh.
Uh-oh. Oh no.
Let's see if it kicked someone from the lobby or if it was... So, this occasionally happens. I'll throw us up into a 3 input. Nintendo is super busy today. I don't know if you saw the other servers, the other tourneys that are going on. There are 2 other tourneys that are going on, and when Nintendo servers get super busy, they'll start kicking spectators from matches to help free up bandwidth. It's pretty much is what it is.
So we just have to wait until this game is over?
Pretty much.
Alright.
But that beginning of that game makes me think Palpa Blade's gonna take it back.
Palpa Blade was playing completely different. That was just a clean 0 to death.
And and then that throws in that question: that's what I think. It was game 1. I'm gonna see what you do. Does game 1 really matter to me?
Download, yeah.
Exactly. But essentially, from what I saw game 1, I wouldn't say, and what I was talking about earlier, I wasn't saying Palpa Blade was button mashing, because you could see where they were trying to get into their combos, and they did have a couple combo strings, but the main thing is just finding those moments where you can find a Nori list in a disadvantaged state and taking advantage of it, and not necessarily pushing your own advantage state if you have to.
Excuse me. So, I have a theory. It's probably wrong, but this is just what I do in Smash, which is probably why I suck. But I don't think character-to-character matchups really matter.
Hmm?
I think it's more archetype to archetype, if that makes sense.
Explain that for me.
Okay, so imagine you're playing like a brawler character like Falcon,
Mm-hmm.
and you're playing against a DK, a grappler.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna play differently than how like a young Link and a Snake would play that matchup.
Yeah.
No matter which one you're playing. So basically what I'm saying is most archetypes, like most characters within an archetype, will play very similarly, and it can carry over to other archetypes of characters.
Mm-hmm. I can see where you're getting at, and I agree and disagree with you on it.
Okay.
I agree with you on the fact that archetypes do play a role, but it's also, again, I don't know if you mentioned this before, but the player themselves also play a huge role into it, and what we were discussing earlier. Because a brawler may struggle against projectiles, but if they know how to deal with them and get around it, they can still beat them. It's not a completely dead set. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's as long as we know that it's not dead set, then of course you're not going to see You know, because if it was just projectiles beat brawlers, no one would play brawlers. It would just be projectile heavy.
Exactly.
Or and you bring up when you brought up archetypes, that brings up a really good point about you know, when you look at archetypes, Joker's a pretty good evenly has a pretty good archetype in the fact that not only do you have the projectiles that Joker does, but you also have the counter that a sword player has, and then you have the pretty much the strength of a brawler. So you kind of have the three archetypes into one, and that's where people struggle, is because Joker is really to my knowledge and to what I'm thinking about right now, is the only character that really has that.
But don't get me wrong, I still think that like character to character matchups matter also.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But they just matter less so, in my opinion, than like archetypes to archetypes.
That's why character matchups aren't based off of, it's based off percentages. You know, it's like a 60-40 chance, whatever. You see more people saying that because there is still a chance for you to win. Now, granted, there's a smaller chance for you to win. See, look, I told you, Papa Blade took it back.
I mean, after that first stock, I think he kind of deserved it.
Yeah. But, oh man, I lost my train of thought. What were you talking about again? It was, we were talking about... Sorry.
Like character to character matchups, and then like archetypes to matchups.
You know what? Yeah, this is why I don't commentate.
That's completely fine. It's fine.
Sometimes I get into a train and I know what I really want to talk about, and then it's just like it's my ADD, man. One thing throws me off, and it's just like, bird. What? Where am I?
It's fine. It's fine. I'm just here talking, so it's good to have someone to talk to.
Exactly, because God knows I do not want to be by myself doing this. But it'll be interesting to see where they decide to go next. Okay, it looks like they're going to Town and City now.
In your professional opinion, Austin,
Uh-huh.
what is the worst matchup in the game?
That's a loaded question. Because there's a lot of, like, bad matchups. But...
How about we discuss this with Google, see what they say.
let's see. Alright. Oh! Did you see that?
Not what happened.
Papa Blade almost got caught under stage.
Really?
The spring kept on bouncing him back and forth between stage and his up B, and then ended up shifting up the side of stage to get to ledge. But for a minute there, I thought he was gonna die off it.
Pineapple. Yeah, that's bad. Okay, yeah, I have it. It's an easy answer.
What is it?
I thought it was gonna be something with Little Mac, but I was wrong. It's Ganondorf Pikachu.
Really?
That's
Huh.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
Does Pikachu lose the matchup pretty hard?
Oh yeah, totally, dude. Definitely.
Fair enough.
No, I'm kidding. By the way.
I was about to say that seems sucks. That sounds really sus. But like, I was trusting you there. I guess I can't trust you now.
True. I never said you could trust me.
I guess. All right, so back to the match. All right, so
Back
you
to
see.
that. Nori has an early start, but no, it's a really bad matchup for Ganondorf. I played Esam's Pikachu one time, and I knew it was a bad idea when I went into it, and I knew I was going to lose either way just because I was playing Esam.
Mm-hmm.
But before the match, he goes, "Oh, please don't do this." It's like, what do you mean? He goes, "You're playing the worst matchup in the game." He goes, "I'm just going to hit you once with Barret, and you're going to lose." And guess what happened?
Yep.
He hit me once with Barret, and I lost.
Man, Norilis is just running away with it.
But Papa Blade almost had some sauce right there.
Almost, but man, he's just letting that percentage collect. Like, he's on second stock. And he needs to finish out this one and start gaining percent, or he's
Oh my god, Papa Blade, you mathematics. That was so cool. You're just crazy, dude. That was nutty. I didn't think I was gonna hit, and then it hit, and I was like, oh, that's a thing. Okay, Papa Blade's trying to get.
He's going for the cool moves. Like, I get it.
Yeah. You know what? I respect that too. And honestly, Pac-Man kind of has some cool stuff.
He does.
He's really fun to watch sometimes. Oh, fun fact. Did you know that the clock in the background displays the actual time?
It does? No. Huh.
Because it's 5:30.
Yeah, it does. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now I know mid-set if I need to check the time, I can just play Town and City and get my set data from there.
Exactly.
Is he gonna bring this back to even?
I mean, honestly, if any character can, it's Pac-Man.
Yeah, but like, you also got to give it to the player a little bit, because like, a character can only carry you so far.
That's true. Yeah. And you know, I wasn't trying to take anything away from Powerful Player.
Oh no, not at all. I know that.
With the setups that Pac-Man has, they're dirty. Like, as we saw earlier, you can just get caught in a forward air string and just get 0 to death at ledge and die at 50. But that charge shot gonna be doing some major damage for Inori.
Man.
One more and he's gonna die, I think.
He can't just keep on letting him charge those shots, or he's just gonna keep on getting hit and collect damage.
I think Papa Blade is just trying to play the distance game, which is really not something you want to do against the zoner.
Yeah. He's trying to play the distant game because he wants to do the same thing back to him, but I don't know if that's the call here.
But I think Samus can just zone better, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. See, there it is.
Okay. Okay, Inori. Okay. That's kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of nice. Alright, so, who do we have up next? Oh wait, that was Inori getting into top 8. Let's go, Inori!
Let me see if I can find our next match.
Okay.
Yep, alright, so our next match is going to be in losers this time. Because most of our top 8 matches going into top 8 are going to be are already started. So let me go ahead and send them the information they need. Oh, I don't want to request a moderator. I am a moderator.
Let's say you are a moderator.
Sometimes when I hit enter, I don't know. I think I pressed tab somehow, and it ends up moving down from the text box to request a moderator. And so you're just like, I'm a moderator. Why? That's a great question. Why does SmashGG give the moderator a chance to call a moderator inside 2 player sets? Inside another 2 different player sets?
Because SmashGG bad.
Yeah, you don't have to tell me. There's a lot of improvements that I would just immediately give them. But I don't think they're taking requests right now.
I don't think they are either. What really kind of blows my mind is SmashGG is getting up there in the years. It's pretty old. They don't have a mobile app.
Yeah, and that's really upsetting. And their mobile version of their site mobile version is awful. Because remember when I was running the brackets of the original Smash Nights on my iPad? I don't know if you were there for that.
Is that at the beginning of Smashcade? Like Smashcade 1?
Yes, I think so. And like when we were trying to run it off the iPad, the website would freeze. Sometimes it wouldn't report games correctly. Sometimes after I reported the match, it would switch the name, so I'd input the scores incorrectly just because it didn't load it right. And so it just there's a lot of like quality of life fixes that if they were to make them, it would make this website so much better, which I understand with depending on how it is, it might be not something that they can just immediately fix, because quality of life, that's hiring people to make things better. But man, they can make it something.
Yeah, and I know that they have an app, quote unquote, on Android. I downloaded it, give it a shot, and it's kind of sus, if I'm being completely honest. Okay, so who do we have here right now?
Mastro and Kais, I think. Apparently he's a good Cloud player, so this will be really fun to watch. What was he seeded? Yeah, Kais was seeded 20th.
Okay, and out of a 121-man bracket, that's not too bad.
I think we had more than that, 131.
Oh, 131, okay. Yeah, that's definitely not bad at all. Top 10%, I think. No, wait, it's alright. Almost top 10%. But Kais has a pretty good lead right now. Definitely kill percent. I think up throw would do it right now. But it's pretty easy to edge guard Cloud, so. And back there is going to take it.
Man. I loved Pokemon. I love the concept of Pokemon Trainer because it's which playstyle do you want? Do you want the heavy? Do you want the light? Or do you want the mid? And
have you ever had to play a really good Pokemon Trainer though?
I wouldn't define any of them that I've played as like pro level, but I've played some that have that are decent. It's crazy. They know all the percentages that they need to be at to switch. Oh my gosh.
Wow. And I think Mastro is kind of disgruntled about that.
Oh, whoops. Sorry, I've got the wrong names. There you go. That's correct.
Okay, I think Kaius is a little disgruntled about that. Ooh. Is he gonna finish his status Charizard, I wonder?
One more time?
I was just wondering if he was gonna finish it as Charizard, but it looks like he's gonna switch to a Squirtle after the death.
I think they have like a flow chart of what percentages they need to switch so they're not caught at too much of a disadvantage.
Right.
Man, that was dangerous.
I remember I was playing Soap one time.
Oh!
Oh no!
Oh no!
And he was like last hit. I was at 30. I got back throw bared, and I died. I lost game 1 that way.
Oof, that's rough.
I just look over at him, he just goes,
"It's my character. I know what it does."
It's just what happens, dude. And I was like, damn it, you're right. I've had to play Maloney's before. Oh dear God.
Oh yeah, dude, his Maloney's set at the Smashcade he went to was super hype. I'll never forget the side B that he got off stage. Like last stock, everyone's like above like 140%. It was great.
Oh no, he footstooled Squirtle, so he went into free fall.
Oh, we're seeing a completely different Cloud this game.
Yeah, he's playing very well right now. Oh, an unfortunate SD.
No.
Oh, wow, he made that back. That was a really good recovery.
Now, my question is why wasn't he kind of trying to secure that stock there? He ended up just kind of staying on stage and was hoping, I don't know. As Cloud, do you think he should have went for that confirm and try to secure the stock, or just do what he did and just wait on stage till he comes back? I feel like that's pretty much just giving advantage away.
I feel like in this case, I think staying on stage might have been the best bet. Because, like, the same thing with Little Mac. Cloud's off-stage game is something he just doesn't have. But he's got decent ledge trapping with his Nair and with his down smash. He covers both roll and neutral get up. So,
I think to an
I
extent...
kind of understand why he did that.
I think to an extent you're right, but when you watch some of the more... When you watch more of the pro players, they go off stage and they commit to the back airs and try to get back to stage. And just watching to see what confirms you can pull off stage, I mean, it starts becoming less scary. It starts becoming, is this worth it in this moment? I'm going to have to watch more of this set to see if he does it more. But if it's a consistent thing with everything, you know, every time the Pokemon trader's off stage, then it's something that needs to be considered.
I think it just makes a difference whether or not... Oh, nice jab block. Oh, nice confirm. I think it just matters whether or not the Cloud has limit or not.
Yeah.
He is a completely different character when he does, opposed to when he doesn't. Which, I mean, is obvious, but unfortunate SD from Astra.
Yep.
But, as I was saying, it just opens the floodgates on what this character can do after he does have limit. Okay, good parry. Another good parry. Kaius could definitely win this right now. Very nice up B. Did you know that Cloud's up B is only frame 9?
Really?
Yeah, it's not as fast as everyone thinks it is. It's just giant.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. He's got Texas on a stick.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, I joke about that, but it's so, like, I don't know how many things actually beat out Cloud down air. Oh,
It's not. Wow.
that, and see, the other thing is, like, he waited there again. What I've seen, when you look at Tam, PvE Tam, a lot of what he does is when they're trying to come up to stage like that, instead of, like, even avoiding back air off stage, up B at ledge can sometimes confirm those kills.
Yeah, definitely so.
Or at least...
This layout looks kind of sick.
Thank you.
You do good, man. You do good.
I try. Sometimes.
Sometimes.
So that was... Yep, they're going right back into it.
It was 1-1.
So it seems like after this set, we're going to go to just streaming the sets. Because we don't have any commentary with us. So yeah. So let's go ahead and get back into this.
Yeah, have enough time for this last game, guys, and then I've got to go. Got to go close tonight. Gonna be at work until probably 3 a.m.
Ugh. No thank you. Oh, yep, here's the squirt. Oh. Up be out of shield. I like it.
Always gonna... It's just such a good mood. It really is.
It's really funny, and it's also demoralizing to people when they just consistently land it and you can't figure out something to do about it. So you just watch them land it like 6 times in a row and you're just like, why am I doing this?
Ooh, down throw up B. I think he had really good DI, so it didn't kill. But had he DI'd probably in just a little bit, even just for a second, it probably would have killed him.
Yep. Man, that's an early Charizard switch. But hey, if he's comfortable with it. I just don't know if the...
Go ahead.
Nope. Never mind.
Yeah, no.
Invalid!
I mean, Charizard can definitely do the damage, but he's like any other heavy. He's just as slow as can be.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it makes sense where and why you would use him, but I think in most cases Ivysaur is just better. Because he's got just heavy damage dealing combos, and is pretty small actually, so it makes him harder to combo than most other characters. Flame Breath gonna put some extra damage on. He's just daring, and Astro can't really do much. And a Magnet's gonna take it. But he's got some pretty good damage on him already. Let's see how things go.
I am terribly sorry. I'm getting all the DMs right now.
It's okay.
Alright, cool.
Nice one, Frank.
Alright. Oh man, that's pretty even now.
Yeah, it's very even. It's anyone's game at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Heck, anyone's set. Ooh, Frank tied the smash out of shield. Nice. And Fair's not quite going to do it, but he's going to have to burn limit to get back. But he touched the shield, he up smash, and he died. Quite sad, but that is just how it is.
So now he just needs to quickly close this stock and get damage up on the next one. Oh, nope, see, too aggressive.
And he might be dead after this.
Oh,
He's dead.
Yep.
Ooh,
Yep.
Caius. That was sick. That was nice. Alright, well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is my time. I have to go to work, unfortunately. I hope everything else in the tournament runs smoothly. Austin, thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Yep, of course. And so we're going to go ahead and switch to no commentary. So I'm going to cut my mic and his mic, and we're just going to let the matches go. And thank you guys for watching, and hope you guys stay tuned.
Bye, guys.
And let me get it transitioned. There you go.
1, go! Game. Little Mac wins. Ready? Three, two, one, go! You win, man! one, go! I knew I'd win. Ha! Ready? Three, two, bring it on! Go!
Force I can't run from.
Yeah.